We're always told you gotta be loud to be heard, right? That you have to get the last word in to win. Well, today we're gonna flip that idea completely on its head. We're about to dive into a really powerful, maybe even a little uncomfortable truth that sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is say absolutely nothing. Okay, let's just jump right in with a pretty brutal truth here. The most dangerous person in the room, it's not the one yelling or making a scene. No way. It's the person who's just silent. The one who's watching, observing, completely in control of their reactions. They get it. They know real power isn't about what you say. It's about what you hold back. So, what's the deal with silence? Is it weakness, or is it maybe the most underestimated weapon you have? Because we're about to completely change how you think about it. We're going to see it not as something passive, but as a real, active form of control. And this really lays it all out. Look at the difference here. We're basically trained from birth to react, right? To text back immediately, to defend ourselves. But every single time you react, you're literally handing over a piece of your power. Silence, though? It's like cutting off the oxygen to a fire. You're not giving up, you're ending the war on your own terms. I mean, think about it for a second. When you argue back, you're giving them exactly what they want. They know what you're thinking. But when you say nothing, whoa, you create this void, and their mind just goes into overdrive trying to fill it. They start imagining all sorts of things, way worse than reality. And that uncertainty, it does more damage to their confidence than any argument ever could. And this all boils down to one critical point. Neediness is a power killer. The second you need that text back, you need them to agree with you, boom, you've just given them all the control. It's like a fundamental law of how people work. Power always goes to the person who needs less from the situation. All right, so let's take this a step further. This all connects to something our source material calls mental slavery. And yeah, that's a heavy term, but it's fitting. We're talking about that constant nagging need for other people's approval and how it makes us so incredibly vulnerable, especially today, with our phones always in our hands. And here it is, the poison itself, validation addiction. Social media has put this thing on steroids. Our worth feels like it's tied to likes, comments, quick replies. You know that feeling when someone leaves you on scene? That little pit in your stomach? That's not about them ignoring your message. It's about them ignoring you. You've started to depend on their response just to feel okay. So the big question is, how do you break free from this? Well, the good news is, these are real practical steps you can take. It's all about retraining your brain to look for value inside yourself, not from others. Like delaying your replies, that's not about playing games. It's about teaching yourself, hey, I don't need an instant response to be okay. And focusing on a skill, that builds a type of confidence that is rock solid, something nobody can ever take from you. And this really gets to the heart of it. It's a massive mindset shift. Ask yourself, is your life built around what other people think, or is it built around your mission, your purpose? See, when you have a mission, people fit into your life. They aren't the center of it. And suddenly, their approval is just a nice bonus, not something you desperately need to survive. Okay, so now we're going to venture into let's call it the dark side of all this. It's a little uncomfortable, but super important. We've been talking about ignoring as a shield, right? A way to protect your self-respect. But it can also be used as a weapon, a tool for manipulation. And you absolutely have to understand this, both to protect yourself and to see it when others are doing it. So how exactly does that work? How does silence become a weapon? Well, it usually comes down to this one powerful psychological concept. Have you ever been in a situation where someone is hot one minute, cold the next, and for some reason, you just can't let go? There's a reason for that. It's called intermittent reinforcement. And honestly, it's the exact same principle that makes slot machines so addictive. Think about it. You get a little reward, some attention, a nice message, then nothing. Then, just when you're about to give up, boom, another little reward. That randomness, that unpredictability doesn't make you walk away. It makes you obsessed. You get addicted to just the possibility of the next hit, and that makes you incredibly easy to manipulate. And this is where your why becomes everything. You have to ask yourself, why am I being silent? Is it to punish someone, to make them squirm, to get revenge? That's using it as a weapon. Or is it because they've crossed your boundaries one too many times and you're simply choosing to protect your own peace of mind? That's your shield. It's the difference between manipulation and self-preservation. Let's look at what's going on inside your head here. The victim mindset is always asking, why? Why didn't they text back? It's completely reactive. The master mindset, on the other hand, asks a different question. Do I even need this reply to be okay? See the shift? One chases, the other chooses. One obsesses, the other observes. This isn't just a word game, it's a fundamental change in where your power comes from. So where does all this lead? What's the ultimate goal? It's about becoming what the source material calls untouchable. And that doesn't mean being cold or aloof. It means building an inner foundation so strong, so solid, that what happens on the outside just can't shake you. And this is basically the formula for how to get there. It's built on 3 pillars. First, self-worth that comes from you, not from anyone else. Second, a purpose that actually drives you forward. And third, control over your own emotions. You put those 3 together, and what you get is a healthy, powerful sense of emotional detachment. Now, let's be super clear about one thing. Being untouchable doesn't mean you become a robot with no feelings. Not at all. It's about becoming emotionally intelligent. It's like you develop this internal filter. You still feel things, disappointment, happiness, all of it, but you get to decide what gets through. You decide what affects you. You're in charge of your feelings, they're not in charge of you. And when you look at how an untouchable person actually operates, it all comes back to that internal control. They're not afraid of losing people. They don't beg for respect. Their actions command it. And this is a big one. They don't lower their standards. They just adjust who gets their time. They figured out the real prize isn't winning the fight, it's protecting their own peace. So in the end, after all of this, the power of silence, the poison of validation, the path to becoming untouchable, it really just boils down to one final question. And this one's for you. Who's in control of your emotions? Is it you or is it them? Because honestly, the answer to that question changes everything.